Cupertino after the game about the worst defensive performance in New York City basketball history, he may have been right. But I will say this, very, very impressed by the scoring acumen of both teams. And if they can shore up their defenses, both teams will make a run and march. And I mean a deep one.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own, scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Detroit's going to be a top 6 team in the East. And they're going to be extremely dangerous. And it may be fun to watching that Central Division between Detroit and Cleveland. Kind of makes you think back to the old early 2000s with LeBron and obviously the Chauncey Billups-led Detroit team. But Detroit basketball's back.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome to another edition of the Craig Carton Show. With me, as always, Mr. Tyrone A. Johnson. And last night was more of I told you so. This is the smartest sports show on the planet. You would have known that had you listened. You would have known that the New York Jets had no chance of winning, no chance of covering. They didn't. And you would have known that the New England Patriots are the best team in the AFC, and rightfully so right now, 9-2, the number 1 seed. But hold your horses for 1 second. I want to be very clear about this, because you have to listen to what I say and what I've said. So let me just back up the truck for a second. The New England Patriots are the best team in the AFC, and right now, legitimately, the rightful favorites to go to the Super Bowl. We remember I said that now, okay?
Very fair, yep.
Now let me put on my New York cap for just a second and my objectivity cap for just a second and play, devil's advocate.
All right.
Which, by the way, is one of the most underrated movies with Al Pacino in it of all time.
Very good movie.
Of all time.
Very good movie.
If you're a red-blooded American man and don't get turned on by a couple scenes in Devil's Advocate, then hand in your man card today. But that's another story for another day when we start reviewing movies. We'll get to that sometime in 2026. All right.
Yeah.
Devil's Advocate, okay? The New England Patriots are 9-2, number 1 seed, best team in the AFC. We've made that very clear. Has anybody taken a look yet at who they have played and who they are playing next? Give me my full screen, please, and let me change my glasses here so that I can see what I'm looking at, okay?
Okay, yes.
Let's just, look at that. Let's just take a gander at who they've beaten and who they have coming up next. Now, we do it special here on the Craig Carton Show. We don't show you who they've beaten. Like, what are we doing? We only show you that they won and what the score was.
All right.
So these glasses do nothing for me. Take them back off. Put the stylish ones back on.
All right. So,
and let Tyrone read for me.
All right. Week 1.
Yeah, go ahead.
They beat the Raiders.
Raiders, one of the worst teams in football. Go.
Week 2, they beat the Dolphins.
Dolphins, one of the worst teams in football. Go.
Then they lost to the Steelers.
Okay, Steelers right now are still in first place in their division and barely over 500, but they are a winning team right now. Go.
Yes, then they beat the Panthers.
Panthers, one of the worst teams in football, don't have a quarterback. Go.
Then they beat the Bills.
Okay. Buffalo Bills, that's a great win, not a good win, because that was kind of like the coming-of-age win for this particular Patriots franchise, and it proved to everybody that they are for real. Go quick.
And then it was the Titans.
Titans stink. They are the worst team in football.
Sorry, Saints, then Titans.
Saints suck. Titans suck. They all suck. Here's the point of this.
Yeah.
When you take a look at who the Patriots have beaten, right now, the Steelers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Bills are the only 3 teams they've beaten thus far that have a winning record.
Only team they played, and they lost to the Steelers.
Yes, okay? So the reality of that is what? All right, they have beaten up on bad teams, but that's what good teams do. If you look at the rest of their schedule, it's, again, a collection of bad football teams, okay? Here's the reality. I think right now the New England Patriots are a mortal lock for 13 wins and might get to 14. It's on the table right now that there's only one more loss on their schedule. I think it's more likely it's 13 wins, but it's on the table to have one more loss. When it's all said and done, the New England Patriots will have beaten in a 17-game schedule 2 teams with a winning record. Because the Steelers look like a shell of themselves. They're going downhill. We know Baltimore's on the come up right now, okay?
And they play them, yeah.
Right. We know Tampa's going to finish over 500.
Yep.
And the Buffalo Bills are going to finish over 500 as well. There's nobody else. There's no one else. The Pittsburgh Steelers are not a lock to finish over 500. So the question then becomes, how good are the New England Patriots, right? That's the question we have to ask, and I've got the answer.
All right.
They're really good, but we don't know how good they are. And Tyrone and I were talking before the show. This year's Patriots team is starting to get the feel for me of last year's Lions team, even last year's Minnesota Vikings team. Now those teams had injuries, which the Patriots don't have right now. But, those teams went into the playoffs winning 14 games. Yep. Right? And the Lions got the first round bye, bang, lost to Washington. Minnesota had to travel to L.A., bang, lost to the Rams, round 1. So before you get all cocky, and I respect it, if I was a Patriot fan, I'd be cocky and a loudmouth and obnoxious because I got the best team in the AFC. Do not rest on your laurels yet. The fair comment about New England is we just don't know. And it's not their fault. I want to be very clear about it. Vrabel's going to be coach of the year. Drake May's doing great. Travion Henderson might be the comeback player or the most improved player of the year. 3 touchdowns yesterday against the Jets, right?
Tremendous.
But the reality is that they haven't played anybody. They haven't. They're going to have 2 total wins when the season's over against winning teams. 2, meaning 10, 11, 12 other wins are against losing teams that are not in the postseason. So I guess the question I have for all of you watching this, you're going to comment on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, where we're the #1 most popular show in the land. How good are they? How good? Like, am I anointing the New England Patriots right now as these Super Bowl champions? If they played the Kansas City Chiefs in Foxborough today, would they even be favored?
No.
Right?
Yeah,
if they played the Baltimore Ravens in a playoff game, would they be favored?
They'll be
Would
home.
Drake May be the better quarterback?
No.
And that's why I'm just cautioning you now. What's today's date? Let me check. Friday, November 14th. I think in the moment it cannot be argued that the Patriots are the best team, but I think it can be argued that they're a one and done in the postseason. I think that's absolutely on the table, that you could have another situation where they run roughshod over the regular season, and a lot of that is schedule-based. Again, we went through it. They have nobody left on their schedule but the Buffalo Bills, right?
And the Ravens. So I want to ask you.
And the Ravens, the 2 teams that I think are going to be better than them.
The 14th and the 21st. If they were able to go, and let's say they get the split. Buffalo gets revenge, and then they beat the Ravens. Let's just say, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Would you change your mind a little bit if they go out there and beat another good team?
I think they need to get one more win against a winning team, whether it's Buffalo for a second time, great.
Or
I would
Baltimore.
certainly credit that. If they beat what at that point will be the super red-hot Baltimore Ravens, and I think the hottest team in football.
In Baltimore.
And the team that you want no part of in the postseason in Baltimore, then I will gladly come in here and anoint the New England Patriots as the team to beat.
Okay.
But right now, this Patriot team, and I want to be very clear, I'm not just taking shots at New England. There's nothing to say bad about them right now. But sometimes you got to figure out how the sausage is made. And in this case, the New England sausage is made off of beating bad, under 500 football teams. Now, I know a lot of the good teams do that, but no one has had in the history of football an easier schedule up to this point, and then with the remaining games they have, than the New England Patriots. So all I'm saying is this, and you can cut this up and put it out, and New England can attack me all they want. You're number one right now. You're not going to be number one come postseason. And that home field advantage, if you get it, ain't going to mean a damn thing. Because all of a sudden, you're going to wake up in January. Whether you get the bye or not doesn't matter to me. You're going to be guaranteed at least one, maybe two home playoff games on your road to maybe another Super Bowl. When you get to mid-January, by default, you're playing a really good football team. By default, you're going to be playing a team with a winning record. By default, you're probably going to have a quarterback as good or better than your quarterback who has been great. But the New England Patriots right now, enjoy the moment. So I always say in sports, if you don't enjoy it in the moment, at some point you're going to look back and you're going to say to yourselves, man, I got no joy out of that season. And that's on you. Because the Patriots season is going to hit a roadblock in mid-January because it's going to be a major step up in class. Beating the Jets, man, that don't mean nothing.
In a boring
The New
fashion,
York
too.
Jets aren't even a good football team. They don't have a quarterback. Like, they threw for 100 yards last night. And that's the first time in a month they've thrown for over 100 yards. So enjoy it in the moment. I'm being serious. Like, live it up. Have a great Thanksgiving. Enjoy your Christmas. Celebrate New Year's. But when the clock hits January and we're in the middle of the month, the New England Patriots are going to get the comeuppance. That's a fact. Jack, we got much more football coming your way right after this. Where are the wins coming from? And yes, I agree. Are they good enough to win those games? Yeah, of course they are, right? But the reality of this team is not very good this year in one-score games. They're not. That was their bread and butter a year ago. Like every win last year, one-score game, the Chiefs found a way to win it.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
A little bit of a brand crisis when it comes to the league going from 54 to 72. Although I think it can help some players, I think it kind of hurts the brand of the league and what it kind of stood for, the innovation, the loudness, the different aspects of the game, the whole shotgun aspect, which makes it different. But is it better for these guys when they show up in majors?
The Smiley Show. Only on SportsGrid.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. So the New York Jets lose again, and somehow, some way, Aaron Glenn, the head coach of the Jets, came out afterwards. His quote, not mine, saw some really good things last night in Justin Fields. Were you watching the same game the rest of us were watching? Justin Fields did the one thing he does well. He runs. And I've said a million times, he's great with the football in his hands and when he's not trying to throw it. And the touchdown pass, let's be honest, I could have thrown it. Tyrone could have thrown it. My son could have thrown it. The dude's wide open. The safety fell down. And I love how Kirk Herbstreit was like, oh, good boy, Petey. Oh, I'm supposed to watch the football game? Oh, what a great job by Justin Fields throwing that. Great job. He's an NFL quarterback. And the dude's wide open because the safety fell down. Oh, great vision down the field. Like, come on, guys. Stop. I know he's an Ohio State guy, so you by default have love for him. The dude is not a quarterback. Even my dear friend Willie Colon on the postgame show last night at SNY in New York City said, I gotta say, Craigie's right. Gave me credit for it. Craigie's right.
He gave you credit for it and just said it.
He said Craig is right. He's been right from day one.
Okay.
Justin Fields is not an NFL quarterback. Thank you, Willie Colon, for backing up what I've been saying, for 3 years now. He is not an NFL quarterback. I was thinking about the Jets, just to show you how embarrassing the New York Jets are.
Yeah.
So Tom Brady, the great Tom Brady, of course, colleague of ours at Fox, Tom Brady retired in 2022.
Yeah, it's been a little while now.
Okay?
Been a little while.
So I want to give him and the New York Jets some grace because they played against each other twice every year, okay? Do you know that since 2020, okay?
So you're going back to the COVID
final
year.
2 years of Tom Brady's NFL career, all right?
In Tampa.
A little COVID action there as well, all right? Do you know that Tom Brady is responsible for more touchdowns than the Jets are?
What?
That's right.
Since 2020?
Yeah, Tom Brady, 32 touchdowns. The New York Jets quarterbacks, 27.
That's embarrassing.
Dude retired 3 years ago, and he's got more touchdown passes than New York Jet quarterbacks. And here's the greatest, I think, of all time, the greatest embodiment of how embarrassing the Jet franchise is, right? Because I could spend all day, every day, waxing poetic about, not having a quarterback, not having a plan, not being good at drafting players, and on and on and on, right? I mean, the mere fact that Joe Namath, who stopped playing for the Jets in the early 70s, is still the best quarterback we've ever had. And he also has more interceptions than he does touchdowns in his storied career, right?
Yeah.
Okay? That's embarrassing, but I got one better. I got one even better than the fact that we haven't had a legitimate quarterback in over 40 years,
My guy, you're not respecting my guy, Vinny Testaverde, but go right ahead.
Okay, here it is. And here it is. The owner of the Jets, okay, a guy named Woody Johnson.
Yeah.
Woody Johnson came out yesterday, very upset, and is the steward of an aggrieved party.
Oh.
Okay, the NFL owners have made an appeal now to the Players Association. Okay.
About maybe working out a new deal ahead of time, more money.
No, not about
less
that.
money.
No.
Okay.
No, sir.
The 18th game.
No.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you. Every single year the players come out and they rate owners across the league.
Yeah,
like how do the owners treat the players? Like what's the locker room like? What's the amenities like?
The food like when you for the meals because you're there all day.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Woody Johnson last year got an F. Okay.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. He got an F. Woody Johnson has now started a movement amongst NFL owners. Okay.
Yeah.
To outlaw the ratings.
Why?
They don't want the players to be allowed to put out a rating of owners because he didn't like the fact that Jet players last year gave him an F.
That's
well,
pathetic.
guess what? Kansas City Chiefs players gave the Hunt family an F as well.
Right.
All right? But that's the level of embarrassment that the New York Jets are now. That the owner is not as concerned about the product he's putting on the field than he is how the players anonymously grade him at the end of the season. So while some teams are trying to outlaw the tush push, I get that. Maybe the Eagles beat you on the tush push.
Right, so you feel a certain way.
I don't agree with it, but I understand it.
Right, the Packers lost to
Like
so
the
boom.
fact that a multi-billionaire who has been a failure as an owner is more concerned with how his own players grade him as an owner than he is with actually getting a real quarterback or more talent here tells you everything that you need to know right now in the moment about why the New York Jets are the laughingstock of the NFL. Now, I assume other owners are going to go along with this and co-sign it.
Yeah.
But the fact that in the middle of another lost season, Woody Johnson's not doing a press conference saying the losing is unacceptable, the draft picks are unacceptable, my GM has been unacceptable, and all the stuff we want to hear from an owner who gives a damn.
Right.
He's more concerned with how his own players rate him on a grading scale than he is about putting a better product on the field. That's why the New York Jets will never, ever win.
Yeah, never like that. Now, dealing with the Philadelphia Eagles, Jeff Lurie overall got a good grade. He got a bad grade for travel. So you know what he did? He leased a better plane this season for his players to travel. Wouldn't you want that feedback if you want to win? Wouldn't you want that feedback if you want to win? This will help us win because we'll have better food, better weights, better travel.
Now, look, I can tell you this. I've been many times to the Jet facility.
Yeah.
I don't think the players are complaining about the food. The food's top notch.
I'm just giving examples.
I know, I'm with you on
these
that.
are things that are on the survey.
But here's what they are grading him on. They're grading him on how he does as an owner. They're not grading Woody Johnson on, how the locker room is. It's beautiful. It's great. State of the art. They're not grading him on the weight room. It's beautiful. State of the art.
Right.
The fields there. Beautiful. State of the art. The facility in Florham Park is money. I want to be clear about that, okay? They're grading him on what he does when it comes to building a football team that has a chance to win. That's what they're grading him on. They're grading him on letting his 18-year-old son walk into the locker room and give out a game ball before the head coach did. And that happened last year.
And that can
when
happen.
Robert Saleh was going to give out a game ball. And instead, Brock Johnson came in at 18 years old and took a ball and gave it to Aaron Rodgers and totally usurped the coach. That's what the players are talking about. The players are not worried about the nutritional menu. It's perfect. And that's why, in a nutshell, the New York Jets will never be a winning franchise. The only solution for the New York Jets is for Woody Johnson to wake up one day and go, I'll take $10 billion. Who wants to buy it? And knock on wood, Elon Musk is in New York that day and says, I'm your Huckleberry. I'll take it. An owner worried about how the players grade him? Come on now. Embarrassing.
The rest of the wide receiver group is underwhelming. Kincaid's had some moments. They need a playmaker in the worst way this offseason. I know they keep trying to get it done or pick these guys off. Maybe Keon Coleman will be that guy. Maybe Josh Palmer will be that guy. It's not working. They haven't replaced Stephon Diggs, and it shows. And I think Josh Allen could use some help. So Buffalo Bills in the offseason, free agency, NFL draft, get yourself a big playmaker.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Notre Dame playing very well, in a position to crack the top 12. Now they have to take care of business.
Here's what I want from my, and again, we're going to go over who we think is actually going to make the playoffs here a little bit later in the show. But understand this, Joe. I don't want any ACC in there. I don't want any Big 12 in there. Just give me the Big 10 and the SEC. And Mike, quite frankly, if you just gave me Ohio State, Indiana, and the rest of the SEC, boom, boom.
Nah.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
Let me ask you this. If they brought in Belichick, you don't think that... Yeah.
Oh, of North Carolina?
Yeah, they're playing much better now.
I wouldn't let him coach my kids. I don't even have any.
I tell you what, they would be more disciplined than what they are now offensively.
They'd be
lifeless.
Yes, they would. They'd be lifeless.
Yes, Brian Dable is a gutless head coach.
Came off a bye against
gutless
Clemson.
head coach.
Where he placed in, they gave him 150 yards.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own, scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyrone Johnson here as well. For those of you in Seattle, sorry, not sorry. Told you yesterday that the rightful American League MVP was my main man, Mr. Aaron Anthony Aloysius Judge. Kind of weird, though, when they do the awards and dudes are just sitting in their living rooms.
Yeah.
That just seems icky to me. Like baseball needs to do a better job, I think, with the awards show and program.
Yeah.
And they need to do, I think, like an actual thing.
I agree.
Invite all the players in, actually make it mandatory they all come. But as I say that, Yeah, I was watching both awards yesterday, right? So Shohei Ohtani wins his 4th, and he was unanimous.
Fourth time unanimous. Yeah.
4th out of the last 5 years.
Yeah.
But look at the other 2 dudes who are up for it.
They knew.
That's Kyle Schwarber, right? And it's Soto, right?
Schwarber's like at a factory.
And those dudes are like, man, I can't believe you made me turn on a camera and participate in this when everybody knew I didn't have a chance to win, but he got 0 votes. Like, unanimous.
Neither the other 2, Schwarber got he ended up second. He got second place.
But I know people in Seattle right now are very upset. Let's be honest. There's absolutely nothing good in Seattle.
Whoa, I like Seattle.
You just elected a socialist mayor, so Seattle's going to be rotting into the river very, very quickly. It's a dump already, and it's going to be even worse. And by the way, I feel your pain in Seattle. We did the same thing in New York City. So I'm not passing judgment. I'm just saying the next 4 years are going to suck.
I love sports fans in both cities.
That's
I love
fine.
the sports people.
That's fine.
I love
but
the sports
Seattle
fans.
people got a little cocky last year, running around town with those stupid tridents, thinking that the Seattle Mariners were going to actually win a World Series. Like, come on, guys. You're Seattle. You don't win anything, ever. You couldn't even keep a basketball team in town, all right? And you're going to tell me about talking about sports? That being said, the Aaron Judge thing, which was a comical debate, if anybody thought Cal Raleigh deserved it, you've never actually watched baseball more than this season. And he had a great year, but he lost in virtually every statistical category against Aaron Judge other than home runs. So good season, runner-up. That'll be on your resume one day, runner-up, as Aaron Judge now wins his third MVP award. And I was thinking about it when I was watching the award ceremony, and I'm saying to myself, Aaron Judge has done something I think only one other Yankee has done in the Yankees' storied history, win 3 or more MVPs, okay? But he's never won a World Series.
And those other guys have.
And they all have.
Have.
All the other MVPs have. And he's in a weird spot because he is a great Yankee. There's no arguing that. If he stays healthy, maybe he gets to 500 home runs beyond, which will put him in rarefied air. Not just the Yankees, but obviously, there aren't 50 men in the history of baseball that have hit 50 home runs, and still, he will never go down as one of the great all-time Yankees, because to be an all-time great Yankee, you have to win a championship at some point.
You must.
And while he had a great postseason, not a good one, this year, in both the wild card round and in the ALDS, which they lost obviously to Toronto, the reality is that he has not historically had great postseasons. He has the terrible drop in the World Series in Game 5 against the Dodgers, which led to the breakout win for them. So the series ends instead of going back to LA, okay? But the reality is that he's in a very rare spot where these regular seasons don't mean a damn thing. The MVP award, while great, doesn't mean a damn thing. Aaron Judge is now in a very awkward spot where he will never be thought of as one of the great Yankees of all time, but we recognize he is one of the great Yankees of all time. But when you start talking about Ruth and DiMaggio and Mantle and Berra and Ford and guys of that ilk and Derek Jeter.
Of course, Jeter.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
And Reggie Jackson, what he did in 77 and 78. You can't talk about Aaron Judge if you're going to mention those guys' names. Can you say he's a great baseball player? Yes. Can you say he's guaranteed today first ballot Hall of Fame? Yes.
Absolutely.
100%. Great defensive fielder, yes. Clutch, yeah. Bats for average, yeah. Power, yeah. Well, he's got everything. But it's so unique what the Yankee franchise represents that Aaron Judge is now fighting against ghosts. Aaron Judge is not competing right now against other pitchers, against other contemporaries who are also great players like Shohei Ohtani.
He's as good or better than all of them.
I'd put Aaron Judge's resume, even Ohtani, against every player currently in Major League Baseball, and I'd probably win every argument. Ohtani's the only guy you can argue against me where you could win.
Right.
But he's fighting against ghosts. He's fighting against retired numbers. And we've seen the Yankees now for 16 years make the playoffs every year but one and only have a single World Series appearance and loss. There's a good chance Aaron Judge retires and is never considered one of the great Yankees of all time. And what a shame that would be, because he's damn good.
Notre Dame playing very well, in a position to crack the top 12. Now they have to take care of business.
Here's what I want from my. And again, we're going to go over who we think is actually going to make the playoffs here a little bit later in the show. But understand this, Joe. I don't want any ACC in there. I don't want any Big 12 in there. Just give me the Big 10 and the SEC. And Mike, quite frankly, if you just gave me Ohio State, Indiana, and the rest of the SEC, boom, boom.
Nah.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
It is a sickness in this league. They stink, and they should stink next year. That's it.
But the expectation is to be a 9-8 football team.
So let's shake it. Why is that the expectation? They're garbage. And traded away two of the few good guys they have.
But they're going to get how many draft picks in the first round? 3 next year?
Two.
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Brissett has been that good. So this is a quarterback that I think is worth acquiring, but especially in Superflex leagues. If somebody's already got QBs passed to buy and Brissett's just collecting dust on somebody's bench, go out there, get him, because I think the next 4 weeks, some of the matchups too, he gets Jacksonville, he gets San Francisco, he gets Tampa. Those are going to be some higher scoring games potentially. Good news for fantasy managers who are trying to get Jacoby Brissett.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Today's prop was 15, right? And he's at 44. If you altered him to 20 or 25 plus, those are some big numbers. Like 15 and a half, like Jack Besh this morning was 11 and a half, and his number got bet up to 15 and a half. Tyler Lockett was 16 and a half and bet down to 15 and a half. If you just took a shot, like 15 to 25 is nothing. And next week, his number's not going to be 15.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyron Johnson. Some college football coming up. Just wanted to give you one final thought on the MVPs yesterday, because something happened yesterday that I did open up an extra eyeball to.
Okay.
And it's Shohei Ohtani. So Shohei Ohtani wins his 4th MVP award in the last 5 years. And the same kind of scenario, I don't know where he was home or where the heck he was, right? His wife's there, the dog's there.
Yeah.
And this is just now a week and a half since Shohei Ohtani spoke beautiful English at the end of the Dodgers championship parade out there in, what do you guys call it? Shea Ravine or something like that? Dodger Stadium, whatever. Chavez Ravine. There you go. So sorry, I'm not from LA. But he spoke. We did a whole segment on it. Like, he speaks perfect English.
Great
right?
English. Yes, he has.
So we
Yes,
know that the need for an interpreter is fugazi. Now, he's not the only one. There's a lot of other people who don't have English as their primary language, whether it be Spanish or German or whatever the case may be, right? Who use interpreters. Now, the far majority of them, once they get to years 7, 8, 9, 10 in Major League Baseball, they only use the interpreter as a crutch, and because they don't want to talk to the media, so they have the interpreter do it. I've been convinced, by the way, that a lot of these interpreters just make up what the dude said. Like, let's say my main language was gibberish, all right? And you're the reporter, and you asked me a question. God, ask me a question.
What's it like to win your 4th MVP?
Right. Now, I would say, right?
Okay.
We don't know what the hell that means. Now I'm going to be the interpreter. So I hear my client go, right? Well, it's really one of the most important things. It's a team sport, and it's great that I won, but this is really about the guys batting behind me and the great pitching staff and guys getting on base and giving me this amazing blah, 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 right? Because the interpreter ain't stupid. He knows the right answer, right? God willing, best foot forward. All the cliches.
Yeah.
All I said was, baba dibby dabba doobie, doobie dibby dibby, and the guy's like, I know what he meant. And he goes on like a soliloquy, right?
Okay.
Okay. Now, this is not just Japanese language guys. It's Spanish language, German language. I want to be clear. A lot of these guys, we know as a fact, use the interpreters as a crutch and because they don't want to speak English to you. Yeah. Okay?
Yeah.
So I made the comment a week ago, and I think it kind of went viral, that the more I think about it, now that I'm clearly aware that Shohei Ohtani speaks perfect English and is capable of doing it, well, maybe the last interpreter, Ipe, the guy that's in prison right now because of the gambling scandal and wire fraud and all that stuff, maybe he wasn't a real interpreter. Maybe he was just a gambling buddy and a buffer for Ohtani, and we're going to learn more about this story later on in life, right?
Okay.
And that story went viral.
Yeah.
So I know, like, if it gets 1 million views at some point, somebody close to the Dodgers saw it.
Yeah.
Somebody close to Ohtani saw it.
Yeah.
Players are aware of it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm now convinced that yesterday, when he wins the MVP award for the 4th time in 5 years, and you know the questions, you asked the perfect question, and we know the answer. You know, I'm humbled by it.
Right.
You know, this is for my family and whatever. That's right. I'm now convinced someone said to me, yo, my man, you got to go back to using the interpreter because people are on to you right now. People are now questioning, why do you have an interpreter when you don't need an interpreter? And it was just interesting to me. At the celebration of the 2nd consecutive World Series, no interpreter needed, and he spoke beautiful English.
Yes.
Now he's sitting at the crib.
In Japan.
As he gets his 4th award, and he obviously knows he's going to win it, or he wouldn't have the camera set up on him, right? And all of a sudden, he's looking around and he's like, man, I better use an interpreter before they tie me to that gambling scandal again. I know I'm the only guy thinking it, but that's why I'm special. Can you honestly tell me that not a little part of you thinks there's something fugazi going on?
Absolutely, but I believe Ichiro was the same way. Ichiro, I feel like, played 20 years, and he had the same interpreter that whole time.
Sure.
I know he spoke perfect English as well.
He speaks perfect English.
So, yes, the question is only, was it the gambling part? As Craig takes it for the people.
That's our guy, Carl.
Yeah, for the people.
I think that's part of it.
Yeah.
Like, I know the best story I ever heard about guys not speaking English.
Yeah.
Yao Ming, the great basketball player for the Houston Rockets, told this great story. I think it was at a Hall of Fame celebration for Shaq, okay, when Shaq got in. And Yao Ming said, I don't know if Yao told it or Shaq told the story.
Shaq told it about,
you know
Shaq told it, yeah.
So it's the same story. Like, they played together and for an entire year never spoke to each other. And they didn't speak to each other because Shaquille O'Neal assumed that Yao Ming couldn't speak English.
Yeah.
And Yao Ming assumed that Shaq was just standoffish and didn't want to talk to him.
Right.
So they never spoke.
At all. And then at some point he said, good shot or something. And, and then Shaq goes, wait, you can speak English? And I was like, yeah. Yeah, of course I can.
So I don't know. I just think the Shohei Ohtani thing just struck me as odd because we know he doesn't need it.
No.
And maybe because he's, in his home country, it's more comfortable for the people around him who might not speak English, whoever the family members outside of his wife that were in that room. So maybe he's doing it for their benefit. So I want to be fair about this. But there's something fishy going on, man. I don't know what it is, but there's something fishy going on.
Now, could it be, let's say play devil's advocate real fast. Could it be possible if I'm moving to a country at the time, I don't know anybody there.
Yeah.
I just want to bring a friend because I don't have any other friends.
Yeah.
Could it have been innocent?
The original one, except that he didn't know Ipe from home. Ipe was like assigned to him kind of thing.
See, now that doesn't make sense because
it wasn't like a buddy.
I thought it was a buddy that he knew.
He was not a buddy.
And he brought in his friend.
They became good friends because they were with each other so often. When he first came in to play for the Angels. Yeah, no. That wasn't like a childhood friend who spoke English. That was just some dude they found. Like, I think it was like a LinkedIn thing. So, like, yo, LA Dodgers need an interpreter. Do you speak Japanese and English? And he just said, yeah, I do. I really think that's how we got the gig.
Oh, well, then that pushes me more to your side.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. All right, we got a couple minutes still left?
Yeah, 3.
All right, great. So, huge college football game on Saturday for a lot of reasons. Number one, 2 top 10 teams. Texas is number 10. Where's Georgia? 3rd right now? 5th right now?
They are 5th right now.
5th, right. All right, so 2 top 10 teams. And this is the matchup of the weekend, bar none, okay? It's also a really important game if you're a New York Jet fan, if you're a fan of a team that doesn't have a legitimate franchise quarterback.
The
Browns, like if you're picking top 5, if you're the Raiders, this is a huge game. And it's a huge game because this will be the game that we all point to as to whether or not we believe Arch Manning is a legitimate NFL prospect. Now, look, he's going to get drafted. We know that because of the lineage in the last name. And to be fair, the last 4 games, he's played a little bit better.
He has.
Only one of those, well, I guess 2 games were ranked. Vanderbilt was ranked, and Oklahoma was ranked at the time.
Yep.
I think they were 5th at the time
They were.
when Texas beat him. But to be fair, he has not been great. He is not. Now, they've won 4 straight. They got back up to 10th right now in the rankings, and they're very much alive still, even with 2 losses, to get into the tournament. They can't lose again.
Right.
If Texas loses to Georgia, you are not getting in with 3 losses into the tournament. So every game this part out is a playoff game for the Texas Longhorns. We're going to learn a lot. We are going to learn a lot about Arch Manning Saturday afternoon. I don't believe he's an NFL quarterback. I don't. I do not believe he's a great college quarterback. I know it's his first year, and he'll have another year if he wants it to prove that he is.
Yeah.
The goal for the Mannings was one and done. The goal was sit behind Quinn Ewers, have a great junior season with red shirts in there as well, and come out after a glorious first season. He has not had a glorious first season. He's been as good with his legs as he is with his arm, and his arm has not been great. So I'm watching this game as a Jet fan, and I don't want Arch Manning to be my quarterback. I don't think he's going to be a great NFL quarterback, and I'm rooting for Georgia. I think this is the game when a lot of people who've been on, the Manning family coattails for a long time, who are currying favor to the Mannings for a long time, and I get it, job preservation, ass-kissing 101. If he has a great game, it shuts everybody up.
Oh, it does, for sure.
If he struggles, which I think he will against Georgia, it gives more fuel to guys like me who think he's a good quarterback, but he ain't a franchise quarterback in the NFL. And I want the Jets to watch this game. Because if I'm right, I think we got to cross his name off the list. That is not a guy I want the New York Jets to draft with their first overall pick in this year's draft. So fingers crossed, Georgia kicks some ass on Saturday, and everybody recognizes that dude is not worthy of going number 1.
We now have to figure out if they will be in the playoffs. They're the Super Bowl favorite and have shorter odds to miss the postseason as you and I sit here right now.
Right, but let me ask you this. Do you feel after this 5-4 record, 9 weeks, 10 weeks of the regular season, that their defense is as dominant as it was last year?
No, but the offense is better.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Fly Pelican, more like grounded Pelican. The Pelicans are 0-6 to start the season. Their main guys aren't their main guys. And it comes to a point where, what do you do if you are Joe Dumars and the leadership of New Orleans?
Pro Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
You want to throw $12, $13 million at Kiffin? That's always a possibility. Summerall, they lost the other night to, in that matchup to UTSA. Or do you go back to potentially the mad scientist and Nick Saban, give him, complete control of the athletic department and see if he can turn it around? We'll see. But whatever they go, they're going to need a coach to hit the ground running.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
His daughter, she's on the OF.
Okay.
She's on the OF now.
Is that right?
Yeah, she's on the OF now.
So he's got an OnlyFans daughter and a little son
who says he can beat Curry and LeBron.
And he's coaching a team that was down 72 to nothing.
Keep that dude away from polite society.
Okay, brother, I'm with you. I didn't know any of that is.
Numerous pops gotta go.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyron Johnson's picks coming up in about 10 minutes or so. It's really a big NFL weekend as well. We already told you yesterday, Chiefs-Broncos. Broncos getting ready to go into their bye week. Chiefs coming off the bye week. We know 8-2 with Mahomes and Reed together off of bye weeks. I also, you don't have to put this out again because it went crazy yesterday. stay far away from the Denver Broncos in this game. This game will be decided by the officials. This game will be decided by the NFL. And I just don't see any way the Denver Broncos, even though they're at home and shouldn't be 3.5-point underdogs against a 5-4, Kansas City Chiefs team, they are, because we all know what's happening. We don't fix games. We don't tell the refs who to support. Watch what happens Sunday afternoon at 4:25. But just real quick, Buccaneers, Bills, huge game. Now with New England winning yesterday, going into their bye week, the Bills sitting there at 6-3. If the Bills lose, it's Armageddon for that last wild card spot, and nothing is guaranteed, meaning there'd be a legitimate shot that the Bills don't make the playoffs and the Chiefs don't make the playoffs. That's on the table now. If the Bills lose to Tampa, that game is in Buffalo, and the Bills are favored by what, 5.5?
5.5.
By 5.5.
5.5. Yeah.
The other big game, AFC, now that the Denver Broncos have a game I don't think they can win against the Kansas City Chiefs, if I'm right, and the Broncos drop to 8-3, the Chargers are in Jacksonville. If the Chargers beat the Jaguars, now you have the Chargers in first place in the AFC West.
Yep.
All right, and they'd be sitting at 8-3. So you could have 8-3, 8-3, and then the Kansas City Chiefs would be 6-4. A game back, but really 2 games back because of tiebreakers, okay? The Jaguars, meanwhile, if they lose this game to the LA Chargers and they drop back down to 5-5, well, then their reality is almost impossible to catch the Colts.
Makes that impossible.
So that really ends the division and gives Indianapolis Colts the division and at least that first game in the playoffs at home. So huge games. And then Sunday night, of course, maybe the best game of all. You've got the Eagles off their really uninspiring win at Green Bay, but a win's a win, where their offense was terrible against the Detroit Lions, which looks like it's starting to ramp up and get into a good zone.
Yeah, real fast. Also, the Jaguars would bring the Chiefs back in. They beat them head-to-head, but if they lose to that game, they bring them back in the wild card.
The Jaguars lose, they go to 5-5. If the Chiefs beat the Broncos, they're 5-5. But they're 6-4.
And now that loss to the Jags doesn't matter anymore because you're ahead of them.
Yeah, it's huge.
So
like this weekend could be the weekend we look back on and go, that was the pivotal weekend that decided the final wild card spot in both conferences.
And real fast, going back to the Sunday night, the Eagles are now 2-0 against that division. They just beat the Packers, as you mentioned.
Right.
If they go 3-0 against that division, that sets up really well for the 1 seed overall because they don't play the Seahawks and they beat the Rams.
That's a very good point.
So,
and look, the Eagles aren't playing for anything but that. The division's locked.
Right.
They cannot lose the division. Now it's a matter of tiebreakers if records are the same. It's a very good point. Yeah. And at least one of those teams that we'll be vying with, obviously, for the best record overall. NFL announced yesterday they're working on limiting prop bets. I applaud that. Every league will eventually do that. The big thing that's outlawed right now, which is also smart, is any wager you used to be able to make in which a single player can dictate the outcome of it by himself. Meaning, can you bet on the fact that the Chiefs field goal kicker will miss a kick?
Right.
Well, he can guarantee you that he misses one. So you can't make those bets anymore. I think the NFL may have outlawed that at the start of the season as well, but they're now going to do 2 things, and it's smart. They're going to cap the maximum wager amount, smart, and then number 2, they're going to outlaw a lot of these types of bets with complete sign-on by all the legal sports books. So keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, there was another bust in New Jersey yesterday. More than a dozen people implicated in a college sports betting scandal. The AG, Matt Platkin in New Jersey, did not announce what the sport was or the teams, but obviously dudes have been arrested, and in short order, when the indictments are unsealed, we'll find out exactly what games we're talking about.
Yeah.
But dude, tip of the iceberg stuff. Like, this is not going away. It's going to be more prevalent than ever because of legalization.
Real fast in the New Jersey story. In New Jersey, for example, where gambling is legal, you can't bet Rutgers games.
Correct.
I do wonder if other states start to adopt this.
It started in Nevada.
To try to tamp that down.
Yeah, just real quick, before we had the legalization we've had in 38 states and phone wagering, and you could bet in Nevada in person, you were never allowed to bet on UNLV games.
Right.
So a lot of states do that. Like in Ohio, you can't bet on Ohio State.
Right. Chicago and Illinois, you can. I wonder.
Well, the governor won $1.5 million playing blackjack. You think he's going to curtail gambling?
I wonder if they make a blanket rule that maybe you have to start limiting more of that.
Maybe. Not there, though. Not what's his name? Pritzker? Not with Pritzker there. That dude likes to play cards, man. How about Antonio Brown? Was in jail for a week, was let out of jail, and went right to a food truck. Check out Antonio Brown. Looking like he's in a 1980s workout video.
Why is he wearing, that's what I'm saying, why is he wearing that Adidas suit?
But,
waist is small, though. He's been working out.
Yeah.
Bad clothes.
So, yeah, he went right to a food truck, and I can speak from experience. I get it.
No, it's good food at the food. You experienced that part.
Like, oh, you want anything. And he was only there for a week. So he's out, but he's got a long road ahead of him. How about the Sixers mascot? Playing the Sixers Celtics the other night, and Jaylen Brown, quite famously now, has been dyeing his balding head.
Yeah, that Beijing.
You see the Sixers mascot right there?
Ran away from him.
Sixers mascot, showed to me one more time, was about to bump into Jaylen Brown and was like, wait a minute, don't touch me with that
Don't
head.
want that on my shirt. I don't want that on my shirt. It's a custom shirt. No.
Dude, I love that. Then last night, there was a fan sitting front row at an NBA game. That's like at least 1,000 bones to sit there. I don't care what the arena is. And he's a streamer, so trying to call attention to his stream, I guess, decides to take off a shirt and then run on a basketball court in a T-shirt. Watch this right here. So that dude's sitting front row. Off comes the shirt, got the T-shirt on. You guys got the cameras ready? 3, 2, 1, go. And this is in the middle of the game.
I mean, this is a travesty.
And that's why I miss the great Ron Artest. Because if Ron Artest was still in the NBA,
that's right,
we would have gotten what we wanted. And that kid would have gotten, honestly, what he deserved. Now, he evaded a couple guards, and eventually they got him. But they didn't throw him down. They didn't beat his ass. They didn't punch him in the grill.
So he didn't learn.
He did not learn.
That's how you teach a lesson.
And it's going to go viral because his buddies were filming it. We're showing it. But I'm not a violent man. I don't preach violence outside of a boxing ring or an MMA cage.
Very fair.
I'm good with that, and I love that. But there are people that deserve a beating.
Yes, and that kid is one of them.
And that jackass deserves a beating.
Absolutely.
And is very lucky that one of those 10 dudes on the court who may know how to throw some punches didn't say, yo, my man, pop, because that's what he deserved. Tyrone's picks coming up. He's 21-8. Make sure you write him down right after this.
Rick Pitino asked the game about the worst defensive performance in New York City basketball history. He may have been right, but I will say this. Very, very impressed by the scoring acumen of both teams. And if they can shore up their defenses, both teams will make a run and march. And I mean a deep one.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Detroit's going to be a top 6 team in the East. And they're going to be extremely dangerous. And it may be fun to watching that Central Division between Detroit and Cleveland. Kind of makes you think back to the old early 2000s with LeBron and obviously the Chauncey Billups-led Detroit team. But Detroit basketball's back.
Pro basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
Hi, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyrone's picks coming up literally in about a minute. One little NFL note. Justin Tucker, the longtime Baltimore Ravens kicker, who they cut before the start of this year because he's alleged to have been naughty with over a dozen, this is allegations, of course, massage therapists.
16 women.
Is it 16? Is that the number that have come forward now? Like, it's the Deshaun Watson story all over again.
All over again, yep.
And I'm really familiar with the Deshaun Watson stuff because there was a time when I talked to people in his camp when this whole thing was going on. Most of those women were not massage therapists by trade.
Oh.
They were skanky Instagram models who, if you asked them to rub you, they would.
Oh.
Like some of those gals, like got on a plane at midnight in Atlanta to fly to Houston for a massage.
Oh, fresh off the BBL.
Now, there were some guys that were legitimately like trained masseuses. One of them who worked for the Houston Texans at the time. But most of the girls, and I'm not knocking it, we all got love for skanky Instagram models. I'm married happily, but if I wasn't, I'm sure I'd be trafficking in skanky Instagram models.
It'd be what you would do afterward.
Maybe trafficking's not the
Yeah, not trafficking. You would partake.
Yeah, let me take that.
You
take
participate.
that back. I would
participate.
Yeah.
No, we don't traffic around here.
I'd be partaking.
No traffic. All green lights around here. No traffic. We don't do traffic in these streets. No traffic in these streets.
It seemed like the right word. It definitely wasn't.
No.
It definitely was not the right word. But your boy Justin Tucker,
he was in them streets.
16 different women.
Come on.
Now look, I believe you're innocent until proven guilty.
And he is.
It is a fabric of our Constitution and our way of life. But when there's 16 of them,
everybody lying. Everybody's lying, Justin.
Like
everybody.
Like, and we've all had that massage in our life where you get the accidental drive-by, where the gal is, or the guy is massaging you,
doing it legitimately, and a whoops.
And you get the accidental knuckle that might hit your balls, or
it could be an elbow.
Yeah.
It could be an elbow.
Or maybe like
a little brush.
When they're walking from one side of the table to the other, you get a forearm shimmy to the nuts. I mean, it happens.
Whoops.
And by the way, none of us have ever said anything. We're like, I'm just gonna let that go, and maybe
why would I say anything?
And maybe it'll happen again.
Because again, she's the professional.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe this is part of it.
Dude, I tell you, the best massage I ever got was from a dwarf at the Venetian in Las Vegas. He was a Brazilian dwarf with the strongest hands I've ever had touch my body.
Got all the knots out.
It was so good. For the last half hour, I cupped my hands over my private parts because I was concerned they were happy. And I longed for the days of the Venetian and that Brazilian dwarf with the strongest hands I've ever experienced. That being said, I don't think anyone's going to sign Justin Tucker.
No, I agree.
It's one thing if you're a 25-year-old world-class quarterback.
Yeah.
Someone's giving you a shot, and the Browns did.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a 30-year-old former kicker with 16 allegations of being a freak and sexually aggressive, I don't think anyone's signing Justin Tucker, dude.
I agree. I think this is it for him. And I know he's releasing the videos to try to show he's ready to kick.
And he's said that he'll be exonerated, and he's said I'm innocent, and all that stuff. And maybe he is, and obviously he'll get his day in court one day.
Maybe.
The only team that could ever do it, like if you're like a number 1 or 2 seed, and your star kicker goes down, or your team that has had a history of bringing in guys who've gotten in trouble, like Kansas City. Yeah. If Butker got hurt and went down,
they could do it.
Kansas City has absorbed bad dudes for years under Andy Reid.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of other franchises that could really do that. So I saw the story. I just thought we'd comment on it, and maybe they'll edit it in an appropriate manner. We'll put it out. I don't know. But it's time now for Tyrone's picks. He was 3-0 last week. He's 21-8 overall. If you're going to gamble, have a plan. Stick to that plan, win or lose. Don't chase losing bets, and don't double down because you win. Live to fight another day. And with that, Tyrone Johnson.
Yes, real fast. 2 college, 1 pro once again this week. Starting off, Notre Dame, -12.5 at Pittsburgh. They're a machine right now.
Yeah.
I think they win by at least 2 touchdowns, if not more. And Jordan Love, by the way, they're Love, that running back. He's the best player in the country. He won't win the Heisman, but he's the best player in the country.
And you guys should watch. There was a really good doc done on him. He's a great kid with a really interesting background, great family as well. Notre Dame's rolling right now. I'm with you on that.
Yes, going
Notre Dame's going to be in the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely they are. Going to the SEC, Georgia, Texas, you mentioned that game. I like Georgia minus the 6.5 versus Texas. Georgia looks like Georgia once again. It's been maybe 2 years since they looked like peak Georgia. They're back. I think they win and cover.
Yeah, and you learned a lot about Georgia during that Ole Miss game a couple weeks back as well.
They dug deep in that fourth quarter.
I know Texas is top 10. I love Sarkisian. But Georgia's a much better team. I'm with you on that, too.
Yes, and then we go over to the NFL. I know the Packers haven't been able to score, but the Giants, they're a mess right now. They just got a new coach. I like the Packers -7 against the Giants on the road.
Yeah, I'm with you on all three. I think the Giants get blown out of this game. Everyone loves Jameis Winston behind a microphone. Nobody loves him as a quarterback because he's competent, but it's too many interceptions.
Turns the ball over,
And Green Bay's desperate. You lost to Carolina and the Eagles back-to-back. They need a win. We'll talk about it Monday. Have a great weekend, and thank you so much for watching The Carton Show.